Rich Durrani with TMC here. Thanks for watching. ITEXPO 2014 is where we are in sunny Las Vegas. On our show is Craig Hinckley. He's with Tibco Software. And Craig, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. It's great to be here.
Likewise. So tell me a little bit about what Tibco Software is up to these days.
So actually, I'm the general manager, vice president and general manager of their LogLogic division, which is a company owned by Tibco. But in general, Tibco itself, in this era of machine data, is actually taking the challenge on to really talk about fast data. Because we're all been overwhelmed with oceans of machine data, but how do we actually connect real-time events, real-time information, and actually take that machine data and create fast data, real actionable insight that can actually transform that into a business advantage for the customer. Now, LogLogic within that portfolio, we're delivering the operational data platform underpinning all of the IT infrastructure and systems. So in essence, LogLogic is the business value of machine big data.
So database structures with the ability to query, how does it work specifically?
Yeah, so the best way to think about it, if you look at the way the industry is going right now and you think about connectedness, everything's connected, whether you think of the Internet of Things, whether you talk about your own private infrastructure, whether you're talking about the public infrastructure, software as a service or X as a service, you've got all of these systems out there and applications generating what we like to call digital exhaust. So all this event data, log data, machine data has been generated in the terabytes and petabytes of information. So what LogLogic does is we want to actually create a centralized platform that ingests all that information that allows you to drive operational intelligence. So think of it as a way of breaking down the silos of operational fiefdoms that exist today and having one common platform where you can pull all this operational data into.
So if I'm a company that is using your products and services, how do I actually access these petabytes of information, this huge amount of exhaust over, let's say, the last few years? How do I sit down one day and I say, okay, this is what I need. I need to make sense of it all. I need to figure out what it's telling me. What is the next step?
So the great thing is about how do you actually first get that information? So in essence, what you do, you go to your infrastructure and you simply say, send all of that digital exhaust to the LogLogic platform. Now, the great thing about the platform is that you have the ability to say, I want to keep this data from 1 day, 1 month, 3 months, 10 years. Then once you've got that data, as you said, you can sit down with our platform. We have visual analytics tools that allows you to visually mine the data. The platform allows you to create alerts, do correlation and events. So if you see things happening in your infrastructure and in your environment, you actually can have the system alert you so you can actually start the operational processes to triage and resolve problems. So it's really giving you a complete view and span of your entire infrastructure. And again, that doesn't have to be your own on-prem data center infrastructure. The great thing about the platform is we can take this operational information, this digital exhaust, from cloud systems as well as on-prem systems. So you actually, as a CIO, you get to see across the entire field of play as you deploy your applications and your capabilities, whether it's in the cloud or on-prem.
So correlation, to me, has tremendous potential because you can look at a set of data and it could really tell you things that you may not be intuitive. So it's counterintuitive. It's something I've always been fascinated about online shopping, where people who might buy product X typically would buy product Y, which just happens to be an unrelated product, but for whatever reason they happen to be the same kind of person that would buy this kind of product. So correlation to me can do a lot for companies, especially when they have massive amounts of data.
Absolutely.
Is your service or product something that I would need to tell it what to correlate? In other words, look for these kinds of things, or can I just set it loose on this massive amount of data and say, hey, what did you find?
So the great thing about the platform, the answer is both. We actually can set up correlation rules. So we actually can say if we know there's certain events that we want to trigger and correlate and then take an action on, we actually can have the platform set those rules up for you. But the other side of it is visual, the visual analytics. Because part of it is when you get all this information, it comes across as flat files, spreadsheets, millions of rows, and you look at it and go, to your point, How do I find that proverbial needle in the data stack? So the visual analytics engine we have actually starts visualizing information. And you can very quickly say, I want to look at this particular value or attribute and then graph it. And it's interactive and you can drill down. So now you can say, well, why is there a spike here? Why is there an amount of information happening on this particular day, this particular time? And you can drill in. And then you can see by product, by application, by type, what's happening. Well, why is that application, that shouldn't be running this time of day, and then click again. So it actually allows you to explore the data in more the way us humans in a very visual context, and therefore a very interactive and dynamic nature.
Are there any examples you can give us? Are you able to share with us in terms of how your solutions have helped your customers?
Absolutely. So obviously I can't speak customer names
Sure.
for confidentiality. We have a large financial institution that actually uses our product to help them with all of their online banking. And this is actually an end customer application. So when the customer's trying to access their online banking account, maybe transfer money between accounts, they'll actually call when they have a problem. They'll call this particular institution and they'll go into our platform and they'll look for that actual user's name. So Craig Hinckley logged into this infrastructure, and because they have the complete view of all of the operational state within their online banking franchise, they can look within their routers, their switches, their firewalls, their middleware, their back-end applications, in essence trace that user's connection and their transaction all the way through the ecosystem. And they can then pinpoint, oh, okay, there's an issue with our firewall authentication rules that's blocking this particular user. So that's a very real case where they're using this platform to service the end customer to deliver superior service.
So that's in case there's a problem?
In case there's a problem, absolutely.
Okay, that's interesting.
Well, but then there's have to be a problem with the fact you've got this rich pool of information and operational state of your infrastructure. We've got customers, one of the largest telecommunications companies in the US, who uses our platform to actually deliver all of their compliance requirements. So they'll go in and say, okay, we need to check on our certain compliance, whether it's a PCI compliance because they're taking credit card transactions. They actually use that information and our compliance capability to produce compliance reports and also build a compliance workflow. So when they're actually getting audited, the auditor can come in and not just see that you've produced the reports, but actually see the business controls because they can see how you're actually routing those reports and having people review it and approve it. So the use case is very rich, particularly in the financial sector or anyone who's using any compliance requirements around credit cards. We also have a number of customers in the energy business where they're using our platform to get all this digital exhaust from their systems to produce their NERC compliance reporting. So the use cases are actually very, very deep and very rich and very wide because you actually have the complete operational view of this digital exhaust from all of your infrastructure.
So I'll give you the last word, 30 seconds or so, 45, as much as you need. Why should someone watching out there work with you, and then also what's next?
Absolutely. So why should someone work with Tibco LogLogic? In today's connected world, whether it's your end users, your back-end systems, you need the operational capabilities to underpin delivering your services to your customer. Now, delivering those operational capabilities means you've got to bring all of the operational information from these disconnected systems into one integrated platform, one operational data platform that you can then deliver operational intelligence from. Every company needs to be able to do that to deliver in this very distributed ecosystem that we're building nowadays. And Tibco LogLogic is the leader in this industry, is the expert. We can help solve your problems, deliver superior user experience, higher availability, and mean time to resolution. So you get better, faster services that are up and available and reliable more often.
Craig, thanks for being on the program. This was great.
Cheers. Thanks, mate.